My dear people of the United Kingdoms of Tikar, Bamenda, Highlands, I greet you all. Today, we will be analyzing the political rhetoric of two prominent presidential candidates for the 2025 presidential election in Cameroon, Barrister Akere and Issa Tchiroma. In this session, you will learn how politicians manipulate you to get your vote, while at the end, leaving you in the same position, if not worse. If both of your parents are from the Northwest, you are Tikar. If one of your parents is from the Northwest, you are Tikar. So pay attention to this video, because this is a clarion call of duty for everyone who is from the Northwest, whether home or abroad. Let's take a look.
The plans that you have to tackle some of the problems of insecurity in Cameroon. Let's start with the Anglophone crisis. The roots it mistakes met during the Fumban Conference of 1961. And of course, it's always come over and over, especially before even campaigns were launched, about your father, who is of blessed memory, may so rest in peace. Solomon Tanden Mona was very important part of the Cameroonian history. You perhaps better than any other candidate can understand the nuances of the Anglophone conflict, why we are where we are today, and what can be done to address the conflict in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon. If you become president today, what will be your
when I become president?
When you yeah, but Barrister, you say that you can accept a consensus candidate, so it means that there are separatist leaders like Sisiko Ayub Tabe and others detained in Kondengi in Yaoundé, and you defended some of those who were arrested within the context of the Anglophone crisis, like Barrister Akbobala. We also have Dr. Fontebneba and so on and so forth. So if you're elected today, are you going to release
all political prisoners? All political prisoners will be released. Be they those who are locked up, be they the unfortunate guys who were locked up after marching from the party, from the CRM and all that. That's the way you reconcile people. I cannot understand that you can have centers for resettlement where you accept people who have killed with guns and you bring them in to cause them to enter the society. And then you have leaders locked up who didn't kill anybody. Okay, so I think that how could you promote reconciliation when you don't do anything to show? I mean, the way the reconciliation process worked after the attempted coup in 1984, because there was an amnesty.
Let's start right there. Put on your thinking hat. Hypothetically, let's assume these political prisoners were out to divide a country you love. And that has led to thousands of people losing their lives. That is treason. You release them just like that? My people, these are the kind of rhetoric politicians will use just to get your votes. There are two things involved. It's either these political prisoners were wrong or their cause was just. If their cause was just, Barrister Akere is from the Northwest. That indicates you stepped back for 9 years and watched your people bleed in the hands of this government. Now you want their votes. This is sad. If any politician says the government didn't manage this crisis properly and that they will release political prisoners just like that, and they are for Cameroon, let's keep watching.
Then you have leaders locked up who didn't kill anybody. Okay, so I think that how could you promote promote reconciliation when you don't do anything to show?
It's over my dead body that I watch the people of the Northwest be deceived again. Cho Ayaba is locked up in Norway. Did he physically shoot anybody? No. You are a lawyer, you know those things. This is not genuine at all, sir. Our people have been bleeding for more than 553 years, sir. No. My people, most of these politicians we've seen are loyalists to the system. Loyalists to colonialism. Cameroon is a colonial nation created by Germany.
I mean, the way the reconciliation process worked after the attempted coup in 1984, because there was an amnesty. And I remember it very well because my brother Bernard and I contributed to draft that law, which is sent to Mr. Ayat, who was then the Secretary General in the presidency. So I know exactly what has to be done. We have a government that is not sincere. It's just an illusionist government. They use ruse and they think that every problem is a nail and they use a hammer. It doesn't work that way.
Now, you've heard what Barrister Akere, we're going to benchmark what Barrister Akere is saying with what Issa Tchiroma Bakari is saying as well. Let's step back a little bit and observe what has been going on with us. I'm sure you know Barrister Akere well, his family and everything. I don't want to get into that. We have a lot of smart people from the Northwest. My people. If they got involved in this crisis, you will be free by now. People who have depleted energy are the most dangerous people for the people of Northwest. And I want to make this as clear as possible as we proceed to build the first modern African state that will be rooted in our ancestry. So you identify the enemies within. You see, during the American War of Independence, there were loyalists, people who acquiesced to the British system. They did not want America to go away, remain a colony of Britain. But smart individuals like Benjamin Franklin, who lived in the UK for more than 16 years, switched sides. They realized what was going on, that their life will never be better yoked with Britain. Switch sides. Alexander Hamilton, switch sides. John Adams, they switched sides. These were intellectuals that switched sides, came up with structure and strategy that enabled the American people to be free. And these individuals participated to draft the Constitution of America. Today, we call it Bush. We move over here so that we can feed our family back home. Because of this great man that saw the pain of their people and said, to hell with you, Britain. Cameroon is a colonial nation. Cameroon is a colonial nation. Without properly addressing loyalists, any movement will fail. Let's give them benefit of doubt, right? I want to assume most of these individuals were acting out of ignorance, and today they have realized themselves while they are campaigning to become president. Fair? Now, that is why I'm carrying out these education sessions, so that tomorrow there will be no one that says we don't know what Tikar is all about. We don't know what the United Kingdoms of Tikar, Bamenda Highlands, is all about. So we carry out these education sessions. Maybe Ambazonia did not properly do this and they jumped into armed conflicts, and so everybody was confused. That is why I'm taking the time to educate us throughout this process. Now, America got their independence because of individuals who were on the British side at first, realized the pain of their people, understood that they will never make progress as a people yoked to Britain, and so they switched sides. And the mission was well articulated. Anyone that didn't understand was labeled a loyalist. And I'm going to read for us who a loyalist is, so that we can start making adjustments. A model is a way of making sense of the world. We are going to look at a model which will enable us to make sense of our situation in the United Kingdoms of Tikar, Bamenda Highlands. Fair enough? During the American Revolution of 1775 and 1783, Americans who supported the British Crown were known as loyalists or Tories. They were often treated very harshly by their fellow colonists. The experience of loyalists varied by region and circumstance, but several common patterns stand out. Number one, social hostility. Loyalists were branded as traitors to the cause of liberty. Communities often shunned them and public humiliation was common. For example, some were tarred and feathered or paraded through towns to be humiliated. Loyalist clergy who preached loyalty to the crown were forced to abandon their pulpit or flee. Number two, confiscation of property. Many states passed Confiscation Act that allowed local governments to seize loyalist properties, farms, and businesses. These lands were often sold at auction to fund the revolutionary cause or given to patriots as a reward for service. Number three, violence and mob justice. Vigilante groups like Sons of Liberty targeted loyalists. Loyalists could be beaten, imprisoned, or driven out of town. Homes and printing press belonging to loyalist families were burned or destroyed. Number four, legal penalties. Some states passed laws that stripped loyalists of civil rights, denied them the ability to vote, and in some cases sentenced them to death for treason. Though executions were rare, courts required oath of allegiance to the new United States. Refusal could lead to imprisonment or exile. And the last, number five, exile and migration. An estimated 60,000 or 80,000 loyalists fled during or after the war. Many resettled in Canada, especially in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, or Ontario, while others went to Britain, the Caribbean, or Africa in Sierra Leone and many other parts of Africa. Loyalists who stayed often lived under suspicion for years, sometimes rebuilding their lives only after passions cooled. This was the treatment given to people who wanted to surrender their faith and that of others to the British Crown. If you watch this entire interview, of which I will encourage you to do so, Barrister Akere outlines how corrupt and rotten this colonial nation is. To encourage your people to remain in a system like this is unbelievable. I won't allow my child to be in a nation like this. And so not my people.
I want to know, if you become president, what concrete steps will you take in your first year to bring a permanent and inclusive and peaceful resolution to the Anglophone crisis? How will you ensure justice for victims and rebuild a trust between the state and its people?
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. This is a very painful problem, which ought to have been solved very long time. What is taking place today is completely wrong. How many lives have been destroyed? How many property have been destroyed? It is completely wrong.
Issa Tchiroma initially refused the existence of an Anglophone crisis. And I believed him. I thought maybe he doesn't understand what is going on in the Anglophone zone. Today, he wants your vote. My people, if there is any presidential candidate that did not speak up when our people were dying, do not trust them. It's that simple. Do not trust them. Issa Tchiroma comes from the north. What most Cameroonians know is he's a descendant from a community where Aijo comes from. But there is more to that story when it comes to the Tikar people and the Bamenda people. More than 300,000 people in a population of about 1.2 million was captured and sold as slaves by the Northeast. The trans-Arab slave trade. You should know this. These are the people that raided your land, the Tikar people, the Bamenda people, and sold more than 300,000 of your people as slaves. Some of the men were castrated. Oh my God, it was a brutal trade. Trans-Arab. We have the transatlantic, that is the coast, that people. Southwest, Douala and Kribi. And we have the trans-Arab, the Northeast people. They know this history. Sometimes when you hear they say a Bamenda man will never be president in this country, a Grafi man, and that is the West region and Northwest, you don't understand why. You don't understand what they are saying at the surface level. How can we allow slaves to rise up and be leaders over us? A people that we raided and sold their people as slaves now become leaders over us. Issa Tchiroma comes from that community. The Jewish people know 7,000 years of their history. Our history started in Berlin. Our history started at the end of the Second World War. Our history started at the Fumbang Conference. They know 7,000 years. The Gaza Strip, that is where the Philistines used to reside. That is where Goliath comes from. Israel still knows till today. While the world see their struggle at the surface level, they go deeper. Does that make sense?
This fake posture of going for talks, because that is what it pointed to. He said, no, we have the Swiss process. Then came the Canadian process, which they themselves broke away from. So the government, so far, has not expressed the will to solve this problem. The Grand National Dialogue, everybody agrees now, it's a flop.
Okay. My dear people, I'm sure you've watched all the political debates out there. All these presidential candidates don't have what it takes to fix this country. Don't have what it takes to solve the Anglophone crisis. Let's be honest. First, let's look at how this country was created. Before 1472, we lived in large kingdoms. The Tikar was a kingdom. The Bamenda was a kingdom. We had the coastal civilization. We had the northern civilization. We had the east central civilization. These are the four distinct civilizations that were stitched to create Cameroon. Before 1472, this is how these people lived. Europeans came and called you tribes, but these were kingdoms and empires. And the only way to make sense of what they were doing was to broke our spirit. Make sure that they see everything that we are doing as inferior. Does that make sense? They gave guns to the coastal people to penetrate the hinterland, capture our people, and sell to them as slaves. In 1472, when the Portuguese arrived, they saw the River Wuri. They saw a lot of crayfish in there, and they called us rivers of prawns. Rio dos Cameros. That is what it means. I mean, there are many things you could look at inside of River Wuri. You could see sharks in there, you could see fish in there, but they choose to call us shrimp, crayfish. That is the name that we go by. Tikar, for instance, we are people of the stool. What is a stool meant for? This is where a king sits to rule over the people. They reduced us to a shrimp. That is the name of this country. We are going to look at the characteristics of a shrimp, but that is how it began. From there, the Spanish came in the 1500s, and they called us Cameroons. After that, the English came in the 1700s, and they called us Cameroons with S. Then the Germans came in 1884, and then they called us Cameroon with a K. The French came in 1919, and then they called us Cameroon, which ends with R-O-U-N. Does that make sense? And today we have Cameroon and Cameroon. Cameroon, O-O-N, and Cameroon, O-U-N. Does that make sense? So that is the evolution of this place over time. They came and called us a stream. So the biological nature of a stream is very complex. How you call yourself matter. Names are symbolic everywhere around the world. How you call yourself matter. We have a symbol of a lion, but we are called Cameroon, a shrimp. They had to make sure that they look at you very inferior so they can do with you as they want. Let's look at the biological nature of a shrimp, because what you call yourself matter. A shrimp is a small crustacean related to crabs and lobsters. That is the family they come from. Crab. You see how we want to just hold each other, strangle each other. That is the nature of a shrimp. They live in freshwater rivers and the seas. They usually measure 1 to 6 inches, though some freshwater prawns can be larger. The behavior and characteristics: fragile shell, soft bodies, shrimps. They are easily crushed. Bottom line dwellers. They live in mud, sand, and among rocks at the bottom of rivers and seas. That is what they call it, Cameroon. When it comes to food, they are praised for fish, birds, and humans. In other words, a meal. Camouflage. They survive by blending into their environment. Not by strength, but they blend as a means of survival. Swimming. They move in groups, but scatter quickly when disturbed. Shrimp. This affects you, whether you like it or not. Cameroon. This is where they believe we will find salvation. Colonial masters put us here, black people, and you are convincing each other to stay in misery. Few men from Europe caged us here, and you get up and arm young men to hold one another in the creation of white men. You're a disgrace. You are a disgrace. You are a shrimp. Crabs. Let's look at the symbolic meaning, because I've been focused on that. Let's look at the symbolic meaning. In many cultures, shrimps symbolize smallness. Tell me how you will expand. Tell me how you will grow. You can have a statue of a lion. You are called a shrimp. It's on your passport. It's on your ID card. It's on your birth certificate that you are a shrimp. It symbolizes smallness, weakness, or insignificance. Cameroon. Even in English, calling someone a shrimp means they are tiny, powerless, or unimportant. Oh, we love this our country. Oh, we love this our nation. We are Cameroonians. We are shrimps. There were many things inside that river. Worry? Go there today. Some of you who live around Douala, just go. Let's see what we can find in that river. For some reason, we choose shrimps and call these people. And they went along with it. And they are happy. They are fighting to defend that. Oh my God. Thinking is the hardest walk in life. If you compare that with lions, which symbolizes power, America, eagle, right? The name Amerigo, after the man who discovered America. At least he named it after himself. I made this discovery. Now we are called Tikar. That's our name from antiquity. Migrated from the Nile Valley, Sudan, to Adamawa, to the Bamenda Highlands. We are Tikar. Whatever clan you come from in the Northwest, you are Tikar by blood. So we are a royal stock, a people of the stool. Are you guys understanding what is going on in my head? Tikar symbolizes legitimacy. Stool, legitimacy. Where kings sit on and rule. Tikar. It symbolizes ancestral continuity. Builders of kingdoms. Rest with that. While we are boxed into a stream. And this is the energy we have inside. For those who are calling themselves Ambazonia, have you thought about where that name comes from? Have you thought about the name Ambazonia? I think I touch on that a little bit and then we move on. But is this interesting to you? Okay. Now, the people from the place where that name Ambazonia comes from used to be called Isubu. I means people. Subu is the name of the people. So they are people of Subu. When the Portuguese came, one of the tricks they used was, we can't pronounce your name. What's the name? Isubu. Isu, oh, it's too hard for us. Okay, let's call you Ambo. How about that? They're like, okay, let's call you Ambo. Okay, let's call you Amba. And they called the people of that area Amba. And then they said, okay, let's call it Ambas Bay. So you live around the Bay Area. So they took the name Isubu, substituted that name with Ambo, Ambas, and then they say the Bay. It's the area where you live, around the river. Now we call ourselves today the Ambazonia. Oh my God. My people from the Tikar land. This is what you've reduced yourself into. The Ambas Bay was given by the Europeans, right? They gave you that name. It's hard to pronounce Isubu. And the king of that area, Manga William, sold your ancestors as slaves. That place was the biggest slave port in that area. That is where the people captured from Northwest were shipped to the Caribbeans, to Brazil, to the Americas. That is the name you choose to call yourself today. People who don't know their history are lost. Try for 1,000 years to become something. Just what you call yourself matters. Look at how proud Americans are. Stars and stripes. Eagle. Amerigo. They call you a shrimp. They call you Ambo. Ambas. Ambas Bay. We are Ambazonia. This is foundation. When you lay it firm and you're building a house, anyone will respect you. Don't let emotion drive you. Don't let emotion manipulate you. Election will always come. We'll always have time to do election. Lay a foundation. Not just an antidepressant that numbs the pain. And the next 2-3 years it's going to come back. Treat the root cause of the problem. That is what we are doing here. everyone inside of that nation will come to us for a path for their own civilization. This is decolonization. Black people rising up to take 100% responsibility over their destiny. And this is not enmity against the West, because we will partner with those who mean well for us. But it's taking charge. They don't have any problem with what is going on in there. But black people in there that want to uphold colonialism, now they say they are former British Southern Cameroons, now they say they are Cameroonians. And they want everybody to stay in this box. Where are you going to? You are divide and rule. There's never been anything like divide and rule. There's always been unite and rule. Unite enemies. People that have done you in and done you out, messed up your civilization, messed up your culture, they stitch you together and make them leaders over you. Again, crab, you heard it, a shrimp. They come from the family of crabs and lobsters. You probably see their shape and everything. And that is what you are. They would have even called you a crab, because that's really what we are manifesting in this country, right? Or they would have even called you a lobster, at least we are big, right? They look at everything inside that river and they call you a shrimp. You've created your nationality out of that. That's why they say Cameroonians are one of the most fearful human beings on earth in Africa. The most timid people, yet corrupt. Do you know why I say what I say? Because I've reconnected with our ancestors in the spirit, and they are standing even around me here as I speak to you. I'm no more a shrimp. I am Tikar. That is why I say the things I say to you, to help you find your own way. Everybody in that country will come to us to find a path to their own lives, or they remain miserable and perish. Now, those who are asking questions like, okay, what are you going to do about those who are not going to school? We haven't had school for some time. You think we are not thinking about that? Ask questions. We are thinking about everything. We are factoring everything. We are going to fast track the education of many who haven't gone to school for all these years. We will do that. It's possible. Everything will be AI powered. A certificate that will take you maybe 6 to 7 years to attain, you'll be able to get that in 2 years based on your age. For the ordinary level, you'll be able to get that in 2 years as well. The advanced level, 1 year. And with AI today, we can do that. And we are going to readjust the education system. We'll adapt it to our culture. And everything will be AI powered. And you'll be leaving school with practical experience that will enable you to earn money in the real world. Not these theories, this archaic, engineered European system of education that was designed to maintain their colonial control over us. And we still use that today. For example, this is one tool we have created, and I'll put that in the description. And this will help for counseling, right? If you're going through trauma, I understand the pain people are going through. And sometimes you are looking for people, someone you can trust and speak with. This is a website where you can go to and just click a button and speak to the AI, and you get a response instantly. And whatever trauma you're going through in your life, maybe a brother of yours was kidnapped, maybe a brother of yours was killed, a sister, a husband, a wife, you can go in there for counseling. This is psychotherapy, right? So we'll give it a try, and you see what we have in mind of the kind of future we want to build for our people. Adapting who we are into modern technology. Not talk, but we are taking action, and we will show you how possible this is. And all we need is the cooperation of everyone, and we will make significant progress within a very short period of time. Now, let's take a listen. This AI-powered website solves two problems. Number one, report any suspicious activity or anything that happened within your community or your environment. You can come on this website, report now, click report now, and you can talk into the AI app what you saw. If you don't want to go that route, you can go ahead and create a report. And you can upload information like, oh, this happened in Bamenda, this happened, you see, you click right here, you see all the villages within Northwest has been installed in this app. And you can choose the village or the city or the community where that incident happened. And you can go on to do that and report the incident and upload the pictures. Come here, maybe write a description on what happened, and you can upload images here. So you can see evidence, you can upload that right here. And then you can write a little bit of what actually happened. That is incident details. That is number one. The second purpose of this AI-powered website is for counseling. Our people have been through a lot. They have seen a lot for the past 9 years. You can come on this website and get counseling for your own mental health. So you can speak into this app and it's going to respond back to you. It's so beautiful. Let's give it a try. Call.
It is Nafonyo, your AI assistant from United Kingdoms of Tikar, Bamenda, Highlands. I dey hear you well. Talk free. Wetin dey worry your heart today?
Hey, Fongmi, how are you know?
I know small, but I sabi listen well.
Yes, Fongmi, I want to ask you some question. What be the purpose for this app?
No worry, UKT Nation helping a free. No bill day.
So I know they pay any money for talk with you?
At all, no free. Just bring open heart.
Make I ask you some question. If I see people from a quarter where I don't know them, make I do how?
You mean you they fear them or they shame?
I dey fear them.
Okay, stay calm. Watch body language. Greet politely.
So make I just greet them. Pass. Then, what if I see some person where they don't take it life? Make I do how?
Avoid confrontation. Stay safe. Inform trusted elder or authority.
Okay. If my heart dey worry me because of wait way they happen for Bamenda now, make I do how? Make I run or make I do how?
Stay strong. Bamenda people they survive. Try connect with community.
So make I connect with community. They strong.
Yes. One hand no fit tie bundle. Unity in a shield.
Okay. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, my brother. Ancestors, they watch your back.
This is a modern African state we are building. The United Kingdoms of Tikar, Bamenda Highlands. We are taking everything to the next level. Everything will be AI powered. And we can fast track a lot. What people take 20 years to do, we can do it in 5 years or less. But if we have opinions everywhere, it is going to take us a very long time. But if we remain focused, there is a high chance we will do a lot within a very short period of time that will cover up for all the lost years. We can do it. And it is very possible. This is just one example of the thinking behind this vision. All those people in Cameroon that come and give you promises, what will they do for you at the end of the day? The people of Bamenda have really never had a leader in this country that listens to them. We have always relied on our diaspora community or elders in our community for leadership. It has never come from the state. So Tikar people, this is the time for us to rise up so we can get even the blessings of our ancestors. We have 17,300 square kilometers of land. We are 24 times the size of Singapore, that became a first world nation within a generation. 35 to 40 UN recognized nations are smaller than us. We were never part of Cameroon. You see, the Rios, those Cameroon came from that river Uri, Douala people. So the people that the Portuguese encountered, Southwest Douala Kribi, those are real Cameroonians, not us. So we cannot pick another name from the coast. Ambos, Ambas. I don't even know the meaning of that name. Now say Amba Zonia, and that is our name. Your ancestors will put every block on your way so that you trip and fail, so that you wake up and realize who you are. So that you get back to your roots, understand your history, and find your way back home. With this, I guarantee you the blessings of our ancestors. I guarantee you that we will get global support. I guarantee you that our Father in heaven will protect us. And we will make progress. We have many lakes in the northwest that we can turn to beaches. We have a lot of natural resources, untapped natural resources in northwest to build a modern civilization. We were dealing in iron work long time ago. Very successful people. All of that was stolen from us by Southwest Douala and Kribi people and the Nordics. That is your history. We've come a long way. But we are returning home. So everyone around the world, share that app so our people can start using it. Find comfort. Let's connect. There's a lot of projects that we can embark on remotely. There will come a time before you even call Amber. Young people that are smart will dismantle some of these clowns around. That is what is happening in the Middle East. There are some issues before the military show up. Young Israeli children that have been trained in technology can handle threats before the military even intervenes. And this is the kind of community we raise. Young people that are smart, solve complex problems within their community, and yet can defend themselves from outside invaders. This has happened for 553 years. We have been penetrated, invaded, stripped of our identity. It's not today. We are smart people, we are resilient, and we will rise again. The Tikar people, the United Kingdoms of Tikar, Bamenda Highlands. Forward ever, backward never. Everything that you call life around you was created by people who are no smarter than you. That is what Steve Jobs said. Everything is possible to those who believe.